me that option.
I think we're live.
I think so. Just pray my phone doesn't ring.
Are you introducing or me?
I can introduce. Am I back? It looks like I'm back. Hello.
Yeah, we're
All
on.
right, everyone. Good afternoon, but good morning at the same time from the two tea ladies from across the miles. I am your host today, Nancy from Cup and Crown in Virginia. And my guest today, as she is every month for a tea tasting, is Lady Amy Mitchell of Houses of Windsor in Orlando, Florida. It's this.
Yeah, hello.
So I just watched I think it's Netflix. I can't remember Netflix or Prime about the Windsor sisters, about Margaret and
Yeah.
have you seen it?
I've got it on my list. I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, it is good. And I just want to say they saved the best picture for the last when they right before they closed for credits, the two sisters together. It's the most amazing picture. I'm like, why have I not seen this before? It's fantastic. Anyway, I thought it was very good. I thought it was really, really good, very interesting. So I'm gonna lower my camera a little bit here.
Is it about an hour long or is it longer?
No, it's about an hour long. It's about an hour
okay.
long, yeah.
Okay.
So as you can see, Amy and I are in our jammies today because we are going to sample, compare and contrast to the best of our ability for European breakfast teas. We're going to do English tea, Irish tea, Scottish tea. Shout out to Sean Drake, Sean Michael Drake. I know that's his favorite tea. And also German breakfast tea, which was kind of new. I have joked that I could actually run. I don't know if you guys have. I don't know if I ever say it right, quotidian, but they have a Brussels breakfast tea. And I thought, shoot, I could throw that in there too.
Oh, really?
Somebody even said, what about an American breakfast tea? I'm like, is there, I didn't even know.
No, that's all right.
So anyway, I think that's called Lipton.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Generic black tea. So anyway, so I'm all set up here. How you doing?
I'm good. I am hoping that all of this caffeine perks me up to do more work after this. I have been feeling very tired.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And I think after 4 cups of tea.
That's okay. Yeah, usually after our conversation and 4 cups of tea, I'm like amped up for a little while.
Right. And it's conversation with me, so it's very lively. And
that is, of course.
I flatter myself.
I love it. So wait, are you going to show up your pajamas?
Oh, I can. So these were a hint, but my husband, who always takes my hints very seriously, this was a Christmas present from hubby. And they're Laura Ashley, and they actually were imported. He ordered them and they came from England. And I'll stand up so you can see.
Oh, that's awesome.
There are teacups and poppies and
that's right. Like a double-decker bus.
Everything. Yeah. So cute. So comfortable too. So highly recommend if you ever see them online. Very comfortable. I just want to say I typically don't go to bed wearing a fascinator though. So
no, yeah, you always take it off before you lay down.
I do. Otherwise I walk around with it all day long.
Right.
Causing my job.
It's like mine doesn't have a British connection, but I thought I'd choose this one just because it's funny. So this is whatever, like a silky button up, it's not that exciting to look at, but the band or singing group TLC back in early to mid 90s, when they came out with their music video for Creep, they all had cool silky pajamas that they were dancing in. I wanted some ever since.
Well, it goes so well with your hair, I have to say.
Yeah. So these are my TLC pajamas.
Very good. Are you gonna dance around the house when we get off?
I know.
She's gonna blast a TLC. So just a couple comments that we weren't able to meet last week, and sorry for the confusion for our astronomically large audience. But thanks for being so flexible on that. And our naughty little advertisement, second shout out in the first 5 minutes to Sean for doing that for us.
Yes, thank you, Sean. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was really cool. I actually showed it to my son and he's like, who is it? I'm like, yeah, never mind.
Never mind.
I'm just gonna go there. So I'm not sitting in my typical dining room. I'm up in my bedroom. This is my little sitting room in our
I
bedroom.
love it.
A good place to
Yeah.
do our tea. So I've got mine labeled. We're gonna start. We're gonna go in order. We're gonna start with English. Just I mean, most people know
Okay.
what English breakfast tea tastes like.
Right. Okay. I haven't opened mine yet because I always like when you send them to me, I like to open them and see if I can like smell
Smell.
differences. So okay, so English smells
Yeah. So
what you'd expect English to. I'm just curious to see if any of them smell different.
I've
And
got
we
all
got
my tea bags, but they're all labeled E, I, S, and G.
oh, that's
I
awesome.
know. But I also tried to be very meticulous that I sent the exact same amount in every tea bag. So one is not overpowering. So you can actually,
Ah,
hopefully, Amy and I are going to fake our way through being able to tell the small and slight nuances between the
that's
breakfast.
right. Yeah, between 4 black breakfasts. You you thought the green tea was a challenge, but this one
I
is
don't
a
know
different
though.
challenge.
You've turned me on to the that cherry green festival because I'm still
Oh, good.
green tea. I love that. Still have tons of it.
Yeah.
I am trying desperately not to spill all this tea on my white couch.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like you've got a really cute setup as long as
Yeah, as long as nothing spills, we're good. We're good.
I brought
So,
2
and as
tea
usual, I
towels.
have questions for you. You know, I have themed questions
Oh,
for you.
yes. Okay.
Yes.
I have to tell you really quick because I was just thinking this. I brought an extra tea towel over because last week when I couldn't be on our group tea time on Friday,
Right.
it's because I was hosting like a kind of like a company event, like a virtual tea party for people that work in different places, but they're all in the same department. So anyway, I have all my stuff out. I'm leading it, and Captain jumps up. One of his feet lands in a teacup. So another one. So I was like, well, the show must go on.
Was it hot?
Yeah. No, it didn't spill on me. It spilled on the desk, but it's like, it's
I know,
never.
his poor little paw. I mean, did he
Oh,
burn?
no, he was fine by then. Or it was like not that hot by then. Anyways, that would serve him right.
Feline
like,
tea. Feline
yeah,
flavored tea. That's so
yeah.
funny. I just finished watching the other day. It's one of my favorite movies. Elizabeth Taylor and Paul Newman, his cat on a hot tin roof. Honey, I can't watch that without going into a southern accent like I used to have.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I still haven't seen that.
Oh, it's so good.
Mm.
Just what is the reward for a cat on a hot tin roof? Just staying on, I guess, honey. She looks so beautiful in that movie, though. I love that movie.
Oh. All right,
No,
so you've got your special sugar. I saved my little heart sugar cubes that you made
Oh, that's right.
for this.
So I got a text from Trevor on Friday saying, "Where are you?" And I'm like,
Oh.
"Yeah, I told Amy I can't make it."
Yeah, sorry, and then I wasn't there.
And for those who don't know what we're talking about, Amy started the Calling All Tea Timers Friday afternoon tea at 3:00, where a lot of us who love to drink tea get together, and with our tea we chat, talk about anything, what's going on that week, royal family.
Yeah, we usually touch some British bases.
Yeah.
Talk about other stuff.
Things that my husband doesn't tolerate. So we just got back from Busch Gardens here in Williamsburg.
Oh, really? I didn't know you had one there.
What's that?
I didn't know you had one there.
Oh, we do. And it's like 15 minutes from historic Williamsburg, which is one of my favorite places to go. Because I love 18th century history where American and British history converge.
Oh, right.
So great. And it was like a ghost town, though. It was just like a ghost town.
Oh.
Well, it was a Sunday afternoon at 5:00 too. But you could walk around the town and everything. And I'm bringing this up for a reason. I don't remember what it is.
Was it tea related?
British.
English and Americans?
Yes. So, and hubby. So if you go to the Williamsburg Busch Gardens, it has a very European theme. So you actually get to walk through London. Most of the buildings there look Tudor. They have a fake Big Ben and things like that. So I said, I said, maybe I can hit that gift shop on the way out. And as he just keeps strolling, he says, and maybe you can just buy something American.
Oh. Like, why would I do that?
Now, I said, they have Italy, they have Spain, we can go and do that. He's like, what am I going to get there? He says, I'm an American, you're an American. I'm like, I know. I'm not Hilaria, what's her face? I wasn't looking at his face. Claiming I'm Spanish, pretending not to remember certain American words. What is their last name? I'm looking at Baldwin. Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking at them, and right now I have to say my German breakfast tea looks darker than the rest.
I agree. My Scottish looks similar to the Irish, I'd say. Scottish is almost a little lighter. Is yours a little lighter?
No, my Scottish and my Irish look quite similar.
Okay. Yeah, they're very close. Yeah. I think it might be because I have two different cups, so the lighting's hitting the inside.
Oh, that could be it too.
Yeah.
That could be, yeah. No, mine are all white lined, so I'm just stirring my sugar here a little bit. But all right, I'm gonna.
And
Now, not all English breakfast teas are equal. They're not all made the same. So you got to find the one you like. I mean, people send me English breakfast tea all the time. Like, thank you. This is terrible. So, yeah, I'm gonna just in case.
So let's see, how this one goes.
Good.
Good.
Full
Yeah,
body.
it's a good smooth. Yeah, it's a good smooth one.
I think I told you somebody gave me the Prince William and Princess Kate tea. It's a cute little tin, has their pictures. Yeah, my brother back at, oh, Chris, I hope you don't watch this because it was terrible. It is awful tea. Do you know what I do with terrible tea that people give me? If I don't give it away, when I do my photos, my little photo sessions and product photos, and I need a tea bag and I need tea, that's what I use it for. I don't typically drink it. I just use it for the, for the photos, and then I toss it.
That's so smart. That's awesome.
Well, it's a good English blend, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So English breakfast tea is China black tea, and then they started putting Ceylon or Sri Lankan tea in it, I think, and then it was Assam also. So it kind of has a blend from the provinces, from the English provinces.
Yeah, I think it's like English and Irish both have a blend of Ceylon and Assam, but it's like one has more of the other, and then vice versa. So that's why.
So Irish has more of the Assam, so it's supposed to have a
so that's the flavor.
Yes. Yes. So that was my English. Have you gone on to the second?
Nope, I was gonna ask. So next is Irish.
I'm gonna do Irish next.
Okay, that's what I've got. So all of my cups today are blue and white. I go with my blue and white theme of my outfit.
Are they from a set? Oh,
no, they're all different sets.
Oh, gotcha.
This one is, oh, I thought it was a Japan one. It's not, but looks like it. I've got an English one. Yeah, but anyway, the other ones aren't that special. They're just blue and white.
Well, it's good. It is stronger.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the malty flavor, there's more of that there. I'm gonna flip open my book here.
Is it Fish or Farmhouse? Which one are we looking at? Again, anybody who hasn't watched our tastings before, Amy and I have the DK book of teas, and there is a flavor color wheel. Is it flavor aroma wheel?
It's it's called flavor appreciation. Flavor appreciation diagram.
I have to say, it is a rainy day and I have a slight headache coming on, and this tea is going down very nicely.
Oh, very nice. So what do we say? So when you say malty, is that, I don't know, is that in like the wood section?
I don't know.
Or mineral? I'm trying to think, like, I always feel like it reminds me of like like a little bit of a campfire, but not in that weird smoky way that like you get, where it's not like you're drinking smoke, but there's something like, I don't know, warm and fall-y
I
about
can
it.
understand. I know what you're saying. Yeah, the other day I was drinking my favorite, which you know is Golden Monkey. I still swear by it. I've gotten to the point where I can actually drink that without any sugar or lemon in it because there's something that is so good about that tea that actually it has a cocoa quality, even though there's nothing cocoa about it.
Oh wow.
So I just love that tea. So
Yeah.
good. Golden Monkey, plugging Golden Monkey again.
And
Anyway,
the golden monkey one, that is something that different companies have their own blend of, right? Because I
you
feel like
better
it's,
believe it.
that's
Yeah,
to say, I thought I've seen it somewhere before. Yeah, so it's not like it's they name, a name of just a certain company's tea, right?
no,
It's
it
like
is.
as if you're looking for Earl Grey or whatever. Like, is
Well,
it
there is so it's an age-old tea, but it's something they've only been marketing for like the last 15 years, I understand.
okay?
Um and something in my pajamas poking me like a needle. Must be the tip of Big Ben. What is that? um and but yes, it's no different than like what I just said about English breakfast teas. It depends on who makes it. So my husband got me some Golden Monkey. It came in a canister for
Yeah,
Christmas, and I couldn't wait. I don't usually buy it for myself because it's twice as much as it's not completely outrageous, but it's twice as
right,
much as any other tea.
right.
And so I hadn't had it in a while, and I couldn't wait. So Christmas morning, I open up the can, and I'm like,
Yeah,
quite smell as strong, but we'll see. And then I taste it. I'm like, wow, this is such a letdown. And I never told him. He did ask me if it was good, and I said, it's funny that different companies do make different blends. You would think that this is the same
yeah.
way across the board, and it really wasn't. It was lacking. So yeah, my favorite comes from Adagio tea. I just love
Gotcha.
the
Okay,
whole.
that's the one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, the when you talk about the different companies, brands having their own blends, so like that's what when I've done my bits of research on teas, and it's like a secret recipe. No one like they'll tell you, yeah, it's like a mix of like Ceylon, Assam, like in general, this is sort of maybe the percentages, but each tea company has their own exact version, and that's why there's like a difference between them, and that's why a lot of it comes down to personal preference.
yeah.
So even the people who prefer like PG Tips or something
Right,
over Yorkshire Gold,
right.
uh yeah, it's just because it's slightly different, but we'll never know why.
I used to substitute for. It's true, and what are they putting in it, or yeah, I don't know how it's different. If it's still because all teas come from the same place.
Right.
Ceylon
But
comes from Sri Lanka, and and it comes the China Black, Orange Pico. I
yeah,
mean, they all come from those. So I don't know how they're different. I can't imagine how they're
I
different.
think, yeah, it was like it seems to be the ratio that they're doing it. And I don't know if they add something else in or what they do, but or if it's what plant processes their leaves or whatever,
I wonder. I
Yeah.
wonder. Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. So find your favorite tea and stick to it. Be loyal to it if it's what makes you happy. So,
Hmm.
all
Yeah.
right.
It's like I'd probably do Yorkshire a lot. I don't know, like Thai Fu and PG Tips, I'm kind of good with any of those as
Mhm.
far as like, the average and finding it in a British kitchen, what do they have in the morning?
Yeah. Exactly. Tell me what the Queen has. I'm happy to go and buy it.
I don't think she's drinking PG Tips.
Yeah, probably not tuning into what Adagio T is putting out this month either. Pretty sure she doesn't care about that bubbly we had a couple months ago,
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
which I forgot I had, and it's got shoved in the way back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have some of this. Where's the ginger ale?
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
now I substitute for Jackie's former kindergarten teacher,
Hmm.
and she's a big tea drinker too. And I was telling her about Yorkshire Golds. I bring samples. When I find out somebody's a tea drinker, I'm like, I'm bringing you tea because you need to try these. And we were talking about Yorkshire Gold. She said, I tried that one time. And she said, I had twitches in my eye all. And And I said, yeah, I said, that's usually double the water for me. One bag of Yorkshire Gold is really quite strong. Or that's where you add the milk, because then you still get the tea
Right.
essence and the milk. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna try the Scottish, which looks a little bit
Okay.
darker than the others,
Mhm.
except for the German for the
Except
first
for,
thing.
yeah, except for my lighting.
And there's taste it first and then
Hmm, That's that
definitely it's
mine
strong.
tastes really good and like smooth. Is yours stronger?
Yes, it is definitely stronger. Definitely stronger. And I think again, there's an increase there in the uh Assam tea. And
Hmm.
I read somewhere 5 minutes before I got online. I read somewhere that
I love it.
for
That's
tea,
the best time to do your tea research. I do
I'm
too.
renewing my Zoom account, going, okay, I got it. But they say because of the water, the quality of water, that they needed or preferred a stronger flavored tea. So, so maybe this tastes exactly like English breakfast tea to them based on their water. I have no idea, but it's
That's
definitely
true.
stronger. But I love Assam tea, so I do like this.
So speaking of water, have you heard that if you have like an electric water kettle, like some of us cool kids do,
Yeah.
that if you have boiled the water and like say you didn't use it all, you just poured like a cup of it and then there's still some sitting in it, you're not supposed to reboil that. You're supposed to dump it out and start fresh for your next one. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. I knew that.
Apparently it's supposed to make some difference in the taste of the tea. I've yet to notice that. Yeah. But
Dang.
yeah, but they also do things like warming the pot and whatever that I don't know are necessarily
Yeah, exactly. Or is that just the snobbery that goes into
needed.
tea? Which we love. Let's admit it,
Right.
Amy and I, we love that. There's a right and a wrong
Yes,
way.
I love the ceremony of it, but I like to, yeah, let people know when I'm like, look, I don't follow that. So don't feel bad if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do think water quality has a lot to do with it, because Amy, I think I said this to you once when we first started talking. If I still lived in Jacksonville, Florida, I might not be a tea drinker, because the amount of the chlorine and whatever flavors are in the water.
Yeah.
And Corpus Christi, Texas, I don't know if it's still that way, but when Jose was in flight school,
Yeah.
and you go to get the glass of water from the tap, because I'm a tap water drinker, I don't like my
Yeah.
water to be cold. Oh my God. I mean, you can smell the chlorine from here. So
Wow.
can you imagine how that affects
Oh yeah,
flavor
yeah.
of tea?
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So, maybe our next tea tasting is one tea with 3 different kinds of water.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Good
I
idea. I
like
just came
that.
up with that. My brain's working now. Okay. Must be all my breakfast tea. I really like this one.
I do like it. So I know I clearly didn't make mine as strong as yours, but that's actually fine for me. I like it. I feel like it's a nice. I don't know. It doesn't hit me in the face. It's like a nice palm black tea.
But it has a nice aftertaste. It lasts. Unlike,
Mhm.
maybe like the English or the Irish that's, short-lived in your mouth. I feel like that Assam really
That's
lingers.
a good point.
Yeah, I was hoping that would sound intelligent as well. So I don't know. I'm just winging it, people. I really have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, it really did. Yeah. Now I'm like going back and I'm like, okay, how long does it last in my mouth? And I think is the Irish breakfast to you a little more stringent than the others?
Yeah. I don't know
Okay.
why, because I like Irish breakfast tea. And I've never, now that I'm comparing them,
Yeah, I feel like I
yeah.
think that's like a brand thing too, because I know like Twining's Irish breakfast, is good to go in my opinion.
Hmm.
but I've had some that taste very different from other Irish breakfasts. So I still like this one, but it wasn't until I went back from the Scottish to the Irish that I noticed the big
I'm
difference.
noticing, yeah, to me right now, the Scottish, for me so
Mhm.
far, wins hands down.
Mhm.
For a stronger, more full-bodied flavor, and one that has a pleasant aftertaste that lingers.
Right, right.
Not
And
like
that's
Diet Pepsi that it's like, get this out of my mouth.
right, right. And that's the one that Shawn Michael Drake is voting for,
Yeah,
right?
That's 3 shout outs to Sean right now.
I know. We'll see how many more we can do.
Oh my goodness gracious. Who else can we do? Say one for Trevor.
That's right. Okay, we got Trevor. Yeah. Want to do a shout out to Tammy Sue and her chickens?
That's right. And her chickens. Yeah, I haven't been able to look at eggs the same since. I don't know if I told you that Jose's cousin lives about 20 minutes from here, and she bought a massive property. And every week we get a dozen fresh organic eggs at our door that she brings to us. She's got eggs. I don't know if she's got her goat yet. She has a beehive. She makes soaps from, yeah, she does. She does have the goats because she makes soaps from goat's milk.
Oh.
She does all the stuff, and it's fantastic. Might even send you a bar.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll take it.
Definitely. All right, so I'm going to go on to Scottish.
You mean German?
German.
I was like, wait a minute.
Scottish, German.
I know. Well, I say, yeah, it's hard to remember that it's German because I've never heard of a German breakfast tea.
Right?
Yeah. One is astringent.
I agree. I mean, I steeped these the same amount of time, but this one.
That's what, yeah.
I'm not offended if you don't finish. Don't worry about it. You can put that aside and go back.
No, I'm gonna see how much sugar it takes.
Good point. Oh gosh, yeah, that is really strong.
Yeah. So I was asked yesterday if if someone's new to tea and they want to try to get into it, where should they start? And I was like, well, I would say, black tea is like English breakfast, Earl Grey. And I said, but honestly, go for me. It was like, just whatever one you try, put as much sugar as you like to make it drinkable. Right. And then as you practice, you can add less and less sugar.
Less, exactly. Or if you just like it with milk, because I'm really trying to cut back on my sugar. This is not helping. Right. But I'm trying to cut back on my sugar. And so if you can do it with milk, I mean, a nice trade-off is if you're not going to do the sugar, is that you actually go for cream. But then you're putting calories back in that way too. So you can't win.
Yeah, I was like, then I would just rather have the sugar.
I started subbing again. I subbed in the school office, which I will take any day of the week over actually subbing with children, and subbing in a virtual environment. I refuse to do that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I ran into 2 of the teachers. I haven't seen them in a year, and they each have lost about 75 pounds.
Wow.
These were teachers that they were unhealthily obese. They really were.
Yeah.
And one, I knew that she had started something because I'd seen a picture of her. She looks fantastic. I mean, she just is amazing. But the other one, I didn't even know who she was. She lightened her hair. She got a divorce. She lost all the weight. She lightened her hair. She says, I got myself a whole brand new life. And she looks fantastic.
That is awesome.
I know. Yeah. And I'm saying that because I am not one of those people that lost weight in COVID. I took COVID as a chance to perfect the scone and shortbread cookies and Earl Grey shortbread cookies and things like that.
Right. Same here. I wasn't baking, but I was sitting and Zooming a lot more than walking around or, even just from meeting to meeting, I used to walk around. Now.
Yes, that's what I miss about subbing. I was on my feet all day. And my Thursday job was I would fill in for teachers while they had meetings all day. So I would have 45-minute sessions in different classes, and I would be running from one end of the school to the next.
Right.
Yeah, that was a whole gene size ago. To get back to that.
I have to tell you, so the German breakfast for me requires 2 heart-shaped sugars and 1 packet of Truvia.
Oh my stars! You're about to sound like Tammy Sue. Here's shout out number 2 for Tammy Sue. Tammy Sue and her. What is she? It was like 2 low packets and something.
Oh, you're right. She mixes it with another thing, right? Because it's like, because what is it? So that it's not all sugar. Like she does part sugar and then part the artificial.
It took her years to get that. It was something like that. So when she mixes her Lapsang Souchong and her PG tips.
Right.
And wow, you go, girl.
But but I'm guessing, with that kind of tea, I would definitely need it sweetened if it's gonna have a smoky flavor to it. I'm
I
gonna
have
need the
a little
sweet
bit of
smoky.
my lapsang souchong left, and I will send it to you. I'm
Oh,
sending it
okay.
for
All
you
right, cool.
so that you can see.
Yeah, say,
I,
are you sure? Are you sure you want to give it up?
I'm good. Yeah, seriously. I'm gonna put it in a bag, inside another bag, and I promise you, it will still contaminate the rest of the contents of the box
That's
with its
hilarious.
smell. It just does. So
That's great.
yeah.
So I think I interrupted you way earlier because I had to tell you about Captain. But you told me that you have questions, so I didn't want to like derail you too much.
No, tell me.
Hmm?
Oh, you waiting for my first question?
Oh no, I was just telling you, yeah, if you wanted to get back to those, like I literally just remembered. So I've been having very foggy like mom brain for the last few days. I'm not sure what's up. But
Holland?
yeah, I don't know, but I literally in the middle of being interviewed live yesterday, I forgot what the question was. It was a two-part question. And I answered the first part, and then I was like gonna try and just like BS it. And it's like I don't even know where to go. So I just go, I'm so sorry, I forgot the question. Which was fine. I mean, it was, on a friend's business live stream.
Right,
So,
right.
so it's not like I was on Fox 35 trying to be the.
I'm sorry, what is the prince's name again? Who are you talking about?
I know. Wait, what am I doing here?
Where am I? I'm having a President Biden moment. That was tasteless. Sorry, just had to say that. No, I'm just gonna say, Amy,
Yeah.
God bless you, because it's only gonna go downhill from me. It happens to me all the time. All the time. It's already happened once in this conversation already. So it happens to me a lot. And yeah, mom brain. I think we multitask, and slowly but surely some of the fuses just burn out as you go.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they can't.
I could handle 49 things before, but now I can only handle 47. So I'm going to play
Right.
it on you twice today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I felt like it was for me yesterday. It was kind of like my Monday because we stayed over at Kyle's. Piper and I stayed at Kyle's over the weekend through Monday, so it's like an extended weekend. And then Tuesday, I try to get Piper off to daycare early, and then I like sit down for my stuff, and I'm like, huh? Is it time to focus? I don't know if I can do this.
I think I would be very tempted to go, yeah, I'm going to sit and watch a show first. And then I'm going to do,
Yeah.
finally have some time to myself. I'm going to kick up and I'm going to watch the Elizabeth and Margaret documentary.
Right,
And
right.
yeah.
Well, I will say, yeah, I did give myself some breaks. I definitely took a partial personal day.
Yes. Good for you. Good for you. Because sometimes that helps to keep those,
Right, right. Yeah, so we can only hope that that means I've been better today. I'm not so sure.
I will keep the questions very simple. The first one I had, are you a morning person?
No. Well, okay. Before kids, or before kid, I, I could be a morning person much better than I am now. But I think so. I always had an office job for so long, so I just assumed like I wasn't a night owl or whatever. And then when I had essentially like my schedule to myself and nights that I don't have Piper, I find myself working really late into the night. So I think I might actually naturally be a night owl. But I just had never had the chance to try it out before because you can't be a night owl and work accounting.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about you? Are you a morning person?
I am so much more of a morning person. I was always an early riser. I would get up and watch, the cartoons at 6:00 in the morning when I was a
Oh my
kid.
goodness.
Going a little deeper, that my dad on Sunday mornings, I was always the one who was up, and my dad was an early riser, and he'd go, "Come on, we'll go to the 7:00 mass on Sunday mornings," and it was just my dad and me a lot of times because I was already up.
Right, right.
And then he'd strap my mom with the other 4 kids. Yeah, you got them. I'll take this one.
Oh my God.
So So, but yes, I am I'm one of those people that's like, all right, I'm getting this done. I'm getting this done. All right, it's only 11 o'clock. I've only got
Right.
1 more hour. I don't know why. When noon hits, I feel like that's the end of the day. And it's
Yeah.
not, I still got plenty of time to take care of things, which is good to know
Right.
because I have a to-do list like this long right now. We got company coming tomorrow. But
I
yeah, I'm
love.
very much a morning person. But I've known a lot of people who are not. I used to work with a guy, jerk. Um, but you couldn't approach him. He would just be like, he'd have his back to you in his cubicle, and you couldn't talk to him before 3 cups of coffee or something. It's just, So I know there are people that function better in the evening. Through having kids, I do remember that though. As soon as they would get in bed, it was like, yay, it's my
Yeah.
time again.
I know. Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, just clean some things up real quick, and then I can lay down or sit
Yeah,
down or whatever. And then
right.
it's like, I should just go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I awake? She's gonna wake up early. So,
And it's so just it's like not fair. So even now, hubby gets up at usually 6:30 in the morning,
mhm.
and there are times that I'll linger in bed, or I'll just be like, do you really need me this morning? And he doesn't need me, but I try to get up and make his coffee and get him, just to say good morning. So it's he once told me it was very lonely getting up and being the only one in the house, and to get up and go off to do his work, and not see anybody that he loved so much. So I get up with him most mornings and get his coffee and lay things out for him for his breakfast and whatnot. But and I'll try to steal those times. It's like, especially right now, spring break, the kids aren't up yet. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make my tea and I'm gonna get my breakfast. I think we're about to get video bombed again. Jacqueline.
Jackie.
Jacqueline, come in, angel face. Those of you who have watched our teas always know that we get
Yes.
hello. Don't touch the teas. We don't need them spilling on the couch. Come on over. Did you want to say hello to someone?
Hi.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi. Congratulations.
On what?
Congratulations.
For what?
For your good news.
What good news is that? What good news, honey?
WMAL.
No, she doesn't do WMAL, honey. Are you talking about when she was on the TV?
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Did you see that?
Did she text you 2 weeks ago? Did she text you?
Mhm.
Yes. That was so funny when my phone goes off and my daughter automatically assumes that was Amy Mitchell. She was texting me.
I love it. That's
Can
amazing.
you do that, right? Yes, you did. All right.
Oh, thank you, Jackie.
I love you. Can you say goodbye to me?
Goodbye, Miss Mitchell.
You're a dear.
And by the way, we're gonna lose away.
Do you know
I have
that song?
no clue. I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
half the time we have to have an interpreter.
Okay. Yeah. The friends, so I said I went to Kyle's beach house or beach condo for the weekend. And we had friends from Indiana that we have known since college, and they were coming down on their spring break. They drove down from Indiana because that's what Indiana people do. I didn't realize that was a weird thing until I moved here.
What's a weird thing?
Drive. Like, I don't know. That's just what
I missed something. What is a weird thing that you
driving from Indiana to Florida instead of flying? Like, everybody thinks it's weird that we do the road trip. No? You don't think it's okay?
No, but I am one of 5 children.
Oh, right. So you
And
had to do road trips.
absolutely. My family was from Chicago. My dad's family was in Chicago. My mother's one of her brothers lived in Louisville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So we would drive. I mean, there was no way a family of 7 could afford to get on a plane. So we would drive. We had a huge van, one of those big 1980s vans, and we would drive, and it was 18 hours. And these were the days before seatbelts. And you could, lay across the benches.
You were all stretched out. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there were 5 of us though. So we kept each other company.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it just it's funny because I could tell you this just came up the other day. So and you drive straight through as much as you can, make very few
Right,
stops.
right.
As
Mhm.
kids, we were thrilled because we knew we were going to get McDonald's or Burger King because that never ever happened otherwise.
Right, right.
But God rest his soul, Danny. I'm still going to tell this story because it's still funny. Um, my youngest brother Danny had to go to the bathroom, and when you're a boy, your father can look at you and go, "Here's a cup."
Yeah.
And driving down the street, and
Uh-huh.
Danny does his business into a cup, and then he says, I think he was all of 6 years old. He says, "What do I do now?" And my
Uh-huh.
dad says, "Well, just throw it out the window." Well, the
Uh-huh.
only thing is there are three more windows open, and we're all in the back going, "Oh, oh, oh." So if you're ever gonna do that, just make sure the subsequent windows are closed.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
We still laugh about that poor
Yeah.
Danny and his expense. And his expense, he didn't get it on.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. Thanks for not being clearer.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
It's hilarious. Well, the friends that came down, they have two sons, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they were adorable with Piper. They all like had a blast playing and everything. But what was so funny is like when Jackie was singing is what made me think of it. So the 4-year-old has recently, I guess, learned or watched like the Phantom of the Opera. He loves it. And like in a 4-year-old voice, like he's trying to sing some of the songs. So like I don't necessarily recognize them, but his mom and dad would tell us like, he's singing like Angel of Music. That's the best thing ever. I would be worried. I mean, I let Piper watch all kinds of things, but I feel like that would seem creepier than some movies, right? Like Phantom of the Opera seems a little scarier.
Yeah, the burn and the mask and him
Right,
holding her hostage down below, whatever it was.
right.
Yeah.
It's like everything's dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did I see you mixing countries there?
I did. We're supposed to see that. Censored.
Well, I was gonna
Damn.
ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask. Are they all in one now?
So let me just hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
It's European. It's definitely I taste Europe right there. That is
That's
all
awesome.
the countries coming together and
I love
living
it.
harmoniously, and
I love it.
that was simple.
The harmonious breakfast tea.
But it's actually they're all quite good together. It kind
Yeah,
of
they're pretty good. Yeah.
it strengthens the Irish and the English, and it brings the German down a
Right.
little bit. Yeah.
Calms that
Got
drift.
here. Oh gosh. All right. So I have another question for you. What was the other one? Do you have a particular tea you like to have that's your go-to tea in the morning? What's
My
your go-to?
go-to
Or do
tea
you,
in the
you vary it
morning.
all the time?
Yeah, it really is usually an English breakfast blend. Like I said, I've got Thai Fu that I do a lot. Thai Fu, I think it's like gold. I like that one. But trying to think, if I'm not in the mood for that, then I'll usually go with something sweet like a chai, or like I have still some special maple black tea from the fall.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Use up what you have.
exactly. Yeah, so that's sweet. Yeah, yeah, so I like I mean, as you know, I like the sweet things.
Right,
So I'll either start out with a breakfast blend, or maybe chai, something like that.
right, right.
So, how about you?
Um, I have three teas that I keep on my counter: Kenya, China Black, and English. I put English breakfast back in. It was out for a little while. I do have my Golden Monkey, but I do that every few days just so I can, I'm like, you know what? It's a rainy day, or you know what? I deserve this morning. So I'll,
Right.
I save my Golden Monkey for the days that I really, feel like I
Right.
deserve that. So yeah. So like this morning I woke up, I had my Kenya tea.
Nice.
So
So let's see. So I was going to ask, so if it's the Kenyan tea, does that mean that like it's just all one kind of tea leaf in there? There's no blend? Is that the
I
same?
believe that is correct, and it's actually called Kenya Malima, and Malima
Okay.
I believe is the estate.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like if you get oh, is it there's Ceylon Kenilworth.
Mhm.
Kenilworth is the estate, so there are different tea estates
Okay, okay.
in Sri Lanka. As
Right.
you know, you probably know that Sri Lanka used to be called Ceylon, and the
Yes.
name of the tea
Yeah.
still stuck. But so Kenilworth, and then there's Darjeeling something hope. So a lot of times you might see Darjeeling, like for example, one of the other tea suppliers that I go to is Beantown Teas.
Mhm.
And I love them because they actually give you a tea education online. Amy, if you've never gone to them, it's a company based out of Boston, and they
Mhm.
import the teas from all over the world. But they actually give you an education on like orange pekoe tea and the difference between, you know, the tip. Have you ever seen those acronyms? There's like flowering peak, orange pekoe flowering, blah blah blah, and like there it can be up to 7 or 8 different classifications. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
you can't call it an acronym because it actually doesn't make a word. But they'll actually give you an education on the different quality of tea,
Oh,
down to like the teas that, and I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna throw them under the bus, but even like Twinings is my favorite tea bag brand.
mhm.
That's just crushed leaf. It's crushed powdery leaf. It's not
Right.
the high quality like you and I know,
Mhm.
and you and I usually stick to, is the, you know, actually whole leaves, or the way that they actually process the leaves. So you know, if anybody's interested in that, beantowntea.com, they give an education to it. So all right, so what was the original
And
question?
then, well, no, I was just asking about like if Kenyan meant it's all Kenyan. So like China Black, is that all one type as
Yeah, yeah,
well?
yeah. So you'll find the different ones around there, and a lot of times it may, you know, I can't, something hope, and I can't think of it, but anyway, it's because they're named for the actual estates that they come
Right.
from.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
think I'm so used to drinking everything that is some sort of a blend. So I'm not used to drinking something that's 100% one tea leaf.
Right, right. Well, that's like a China Black, the China Black, which is orange pekoe. Yeah, that is strictly, that's that. There's no blend.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't believe Golden Monkey is a blend. I think it's the way it might be the way it's processed. Kind of like
Okay.
the Lapsang Souchong is one kind of, it's just a normal tea leaf.
Right. Right.
But the way they dry it is with it's over pine needle,
Hmm. Right.
and
Right.
it gives it that strong smoky flavor and aroma.
Right. Well, since so you mentioned Boston and tea, so and since you love, the Brits and Americans coming together in history, coming together, going apart, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I'll see if you agree or if you have any clues. So someone was asking me about why is coffee so much more popular in the States, right, than in England. And I said, is like, well, I imagine the Boston Tea Party had something to do with it. Like when you cut off everyone's supply, like they're not drinking tea now over here. But I don't know. Do you know the exact, I guess, when coffee came into play by chance? Because
I
that
don't.
seems to be such an American thing.
Right.
And like Brits are starting to do it more. But I think that's probably Starbucks doing.
And that could be, and isn't that funny though, that you and I both know also that the popularity of tea is taking off everywhere around the world.
Right,
um
right.
but tea takes on many forms, so now you have your tisanes and you've got your herbals and your greens. It's not like the black tea that, you know, that the Brits were famous for.
Right,
I
right.
love, the British were famous for the Chinese tea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know when or why coffee took over in this country. Was it its proximity to South America
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
the
Oh,
trade
that's true.
there?
That could be. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not sure. I could see it being a protest. I tell you what, again, if you ever want to come and spend a week with me, and I could take you around all the historic
I
plantations
want
down
to.
here.
Yeah.
At the home of George Mason, right down the road where I almost worked. I
Mhm.
remember taking a tour there, and they would talk about how the mistress of the house, typically the wife, she would carry keys. Think of Mrs. Hughes in Downton Abbey, carry the keys
Yes. Yep.
um, and she would have, there was a tea chest that had to be locked and kept locked because it had the precious tea in it,
Right, right.
very expensive and
Yeah.
often hard to get, especially around the time of the revolution. So they always had to make sure that somebody had to keep watch on that tea and make sure that it wasn't going out, regularly, or regulated to
Right,
everybody
right.
else on the estate. So,
When speaking any tea leaves.
mhm, mhm. So, yeah. And how did this get to be named China?
I don't know.
She does. She just wants me to keep talking.
I know, yeah. Good question, Nancy. Why don't you teach all of us?
Because in England they were still using earthenware, pottery, to my understanding.
Oh, okay.
And it was when tea started coming over, the importers, they were bringing in the porcelain, the china, not porcelain, but the china.
Mhm.
And it just got named, it was shortened. It's the good stuff from China. What the Chinese were using, it was
Right.
fired, it was beautiful, it was shiny, it was
Yeah.
translucent. And so they just started calling it the China because it came
Oh,
from China.
okay.
So,
Oh, nice.
so
Well,
here, yeah.
that makes sense. And the original china was so delicate, right? That like that's why they would add the milk before the
Yes.
tea.
Yes.
Because you had to,
Mostly for the
That
lower
perfect.
classes, because the upper classes could afford a higher grade china and better product.
Mhm.
So they usually just went ahead and poured the hot water in.
Right.
But the lower classes typically put milk in first because otherwise the hot water could crack their
Right.
china.
Okay.
So speaking of historical things, but tying
Yes.
it back to sleep and breakfast and jammies and all that other stuff. So again, one of the things that I pick up when I go tour historic estates, where does the phrase sleep tight come from? And
Yeah, sorry.
you know that, or not a lot of people know this, but I love picking this, the tiny pieces of absolutely useless trivia that I love to pick up and store in a cache in my head here. So the beds used to be a frame of wood,
Mhm.
and in order to keep a mattress of hay, or if you could afford down feathers, whatever, you'd put the mattress, but they would put ropes across the bottom.
Oh.
And if you didn't tighten the ropes, they would sag. As you know, rope can stretch over time, so it would sag.
Yeah.
So they would say sleep tight.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's not what I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
That's good. So that made me think of, the nighty night, like don't let the bed bugs bite.
Almost.
So
I almost said that. Yeah.
yeah. So what is it? Nighty night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. But I have a British friend who taught me this a couple of years ago that her grandmother added, so it was, nighty night or whatever, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. But if they do, grab a shoe and split their bloody head in two.
That one I've not heard.
So I've definitely said that to Piper when she was a baby. I totally wanted to pick up on it, but now all the things that I wanted to try to get her to pick up on, I've given up on.
Yeah, maybe not that one so much. Well, what's the bedtime prayer? And if I should die before I wake, I pray to God my soul to take. What was that? Why would we say that to our kids?
Right,
Good night,
That's
honey. Just in case you
yeah.
die tonight.
right. Yeah, it's like, don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Sure of it.
Oh my gosh. Well, are you a snooze person then? Do you push the snooze?
Yep. I know it's not good for you, but that is what I have become, is a snooze person. So I'll set a few alarms. They've got different rings, so I know like the loudest one or whatever is the one that I know is the final final one.
That's pretty funny. So how many times do you think you hit snooze, or is it just one time and then?
Oh no, it's like at least 2 or 3 times, I'd say. Like I a lot for like I plan for it. So the alarm goes off earlier because I know I'm not gonna get up until so it might take me like 30 to 40 minutes to actually get up.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, my husband will say that sometimes. He's like, if you didn't sleep, I'll go back to bed. And I'm like, for what? I got to be up in half an hour to get ready for this or that, whatever. He goes, yeah, but that's 30 minutes. I'm gonna fall into deep sleep in 29 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to get up, and it's gonna be twice as bad. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really hard. It's not good. I don't think I've ever really been much of a snooze person. My sister
Yeah.
Donna,
Mhm.
I had to share a room with her. She would hit that snooze button. I was in college, it was my freshman year. I was still living at home before I moved on campus. And she was living at home between a couple of jobs. And she would push that snooze button 8, 9 times when I could still be sleeping. So the only one who's waking up is me.
Right.
I'm gonna take that alarm clock and throw it at her.
Yeah, I don't have anyone to annoy with my alarm clock habits. So I'm okay. But so then that brings up the point, or another question. Are you a nap taker? Can you nap? Or are you, because I know there's some people that just can't take a nap during the day, even if there's like a lot of time.
No, I can. I don't typically have um, the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, right.
My kids are both this coming week. William will be back into school 4 days a week
Oh,
again in person, and
okay.
Jackie's already in school 4 days a week. And except for the fact that I have, oh my gosh, so much to do. But sometimes I'll force it and just go, you know what?
Mhm.
They'll be home in 2 hours. Take the 1 hour, because
Yes.
once
Yeah.
they get home, it's the running through and got to
Yep.
get dinner. And I mean, even now when we hang up here, I've got to go fry up some bacon. I'm making layered salad tonight, and I got to get the bacon
Okay.
going, and other things going
Right.
on. So I can
Hmm.
sleep. I don't like to take a deep sleep, but they say if you can take those really quick cat naps,
Right. Right.
and I've learned that if I sleep sitting up, that I can
Oh,
but supported,
yeah, yeah.
I can nod off for a good 15, 20 minutes, just get that little bit of REM sleep to be able to wake
Hmm.
up and be refreshed. And they say that's really good for you. But to
Right.
get into really deep sleep and to get REM for after a certain number of minutes, that
Mhm.
you wake up with sleep drunkenness, that's actually a term,
Right.
sleep drunkenness,
Right.
then it's really difficult to function. And I find that when I finally get out of my sleep drunkenness, I'm wide awake and it's time to go to bed. So
Oh
what
no.
about you? You're too busy to nap. Ain't
Uh, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I'm too busy that I shouldn't be napping, is I should say. But it's pretty hard if, Piper, for whatever reason, the night wasn't good, and then she's off at daycare, and I've got time between a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't like to take naps in my bed, because for me, that's where you sleep at
Yeah.
nighttime. So for
Yeah.
me,
Very good.
I like to sleep on the love seat that I have. But I'm laughing because my chiropractor told me to stop doing that like months ago. All trenched up on it.
Oh no.
I was like, does this mean I can't sleep on my little love seat? He's like, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
well, where else am I supposed to nap? But I can take one if I only have like 20 minutes. Then I'll just be like I'll fall asleep. But it's always it's always a crapshoot if I'm gonna wake up feeling good or not.
Right.
And that seems regardless of the time, a stretch of time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Well,
20 minutes
tell ya.
sometimes feels great, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. As a pilot that Jose, when he was
Mhm.
flying helicopters, they would teach him about sleep patterns and sleep habits and the importance of sleep. And your body has natural rhythms that it goes
Mhm.
through. That's why a lot of times we get tired after lunch. And a lot of times that's because your body chemistry is focusing on your stomach and not the rest of you.
All right.
But if you can grab that little bit of sleep, it's very good for you. I mean, look at all the other European nations that take siestas, that take a nap in the middle of the day.
Mhm.
And I think if you can do it and it makes you function better,
Mhm.
uh, I say go for it. Absolutely. And you're right. I'm just like you. I don't nap in my bed. It's typically on a couch,
Mhm.
and I usually put on Downton Abbey or some show that I absolutely know by heart already.
Yeah.
Keeps me. I'm listening to it, but I'm not invested in it because I don't
Right,
need to know
right.
what happens.
Yeah.
But it turns off the voices in my head that I can relax enough to zone
So
out.
that's usually, I'll put on something like the old Unsolved Mysteries. I I like those kinds of shows to listen to.
Yeah.
Not like crime or murder in general, but yeah, because then I'll get too invested if it's like a new story. But yeah,
Right.
but like old ones, there's something comforting about, shows from the 80s, 90s
Yes. Yeah.
and those unexplained stories.
Yes, exactly. They were a little more innocent and a little more fun, and everything's just so
Right,
serious
right.
now. Too
Yeah,
serious.
and enough time has passed that a lot of them you'll get the update at the end. Like the mystery's been solved
Oh,
for, yeah, because it's the old episodes, but they'll update it and be like, well, in 2012, we found so and so. And they were reunited.
there's some woman on, I don't know, I don't think it's TikTok because I don't do TikTok, but you find her on YouTube videos where she's like really close up in the camera and she's doing her makeup. Have you seen it? And she's recounting the details of how a mystery has been solved, some murder mystery. And she's
Really?
she's like a makeup artist, but she'll do some pretty wild makeup.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, she'll be talking about, like I said, unsolved mysteries or solved mysteries, and she goes through the whole thing. So it's interesting. But so we talked about Downton Abbey and breakfast, and you probably know this again, but those who haven't watched it, but it was one of the pieces of historic education that you could take away from Downton Abbey, that married women were allowed to take breakfast in bed on a tray. If you were not married, you were still expected to get to the dining table for breakfast in the morning. And there's a particular episode where I think it was Matthew. Yeah. So I think it was season 3. It was after Edith was jilted at the altar.
Ooh.
And Mary and Cora were upstairs taking breakfast in bed, and Lady Edith is downstairs fully dressed. And Matthew says, why didn't you just stay in your room? She says, I can't do that. I'm not married. And she says, I know what you're thinking. What does anybody care? But that's just, and that was just one of their rules of etiquette, and back in the late 1800s in particular, that was a real privilege to a married woman because that was one less dressing she had to do in the morning.
Oh,
The corset
right.
and the jewelry
Yeah,
and all the layers. She's like, no, I can take breakfast in bed and I don't have to go down until after, because
Right.
otherwise it was change for breakfast, go back upstairs and change for the next part of the day.
Right.
And then a lot of changing and a lot of layers. So
That's really interesting. Yeah, because I never, now that you say it, like I don't recall, I don't have Downton Abbey memorized like you do.
pathetic. I know, it's terrible.
No, it's fine. I've got other, crazy stuff memorized, but I would say that helps. That makes sense because, in a lot of the shows, like, or The Crown or whatever, like you see who's having breakfast in bed and who's not. And it's never occurred to me, like, why are some people not allowed to?
Mhm.
I didn't even make the connection that it was, the unmarried ones that
Right.
are down at the table. But that's interesting. And
Yeah.
the men are always down there, right?
Yes.
They never take it in their bed, right?
It was nothing for them to throw on, their tweed in the morning or,
Right.
whatever, typically, so yeah, it was, like anything else, it's always easy for the man,
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say,
I get a shower first. Takes me
Right.
longer.
I was gonna say you can't. Yeah, I was like, you can't have breakfast without a man at the head of the table, right?
I didn't think about that. I wonder.
Yeah.
But surely there were households that didn't have a man,
I know.
especially after the war.
Right.
So I'm sure those rules changed, or
Mhm.
there were, and sorry, and another fact is, so you have Ladysmith, Florida down. Isn't there a place called Ladysmith, Florida?
Sure. I don't know. I don't know what we have.
There are different places. I think there's one in Vancouver or up in British Columbia, somewhere up there. When we were driving down to Williamsburg, there's a place up here, a teeny tiny town called Ladysmith, Virginia. And I'm just one of those people that's like, how did that get its name? Like,
Right.
we used to live on a road called, no, I can't think of what it is. It's terrible. But there was a mine road, and then there was a gallows road. And in Virginia, these roads are actually named because of what used to be there. And yeah, if you follow Mine Road, it used to be a limestone mine. In fact, it's the same limestone that helped build the Capitol building. And is it limestone or sandstone? Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, well, I wonder how Ladysmith got its name, and because probably Lady Smith was probably the wealthiest woman in town.
Mhm.
And she owned most of the land, and they probably just said, go see Lady Smith. and they probably just ended up naming the town for Lady Smith.
That makes
So,
sense.
yeah,
I like that.
just one of those stupid little
Yeah.
things that I do. I used to, when we moved to Virginia, and I just started falling in love with the history. We have historic signs everywhere you go. You can't walk around Northern Virginia without tripping, almost literally tripping over something. And we would take these road trips, and I'm like, oh, historic marker, and I'd be like writing it down. I'm like, and then going up and like, oh, did you know that's where the such and such took place? And I just eat that stuff up. I just love it. So
have you been crazy about history since you were younger, or is this like an adult thing? Yeah.
It's an adult thing. It's an adult
Okay.
thing. It was when Jose's job moved us up to Stafford. And we were in Jacksonville before then. I don't know what it was. And it may have been, it's so many different things. This was the first time I lived so much further away from my family. It's time for me to really carve out my own. And here I was married. I already had 2 boys, but there was something just wonderful about being up here that I absolutely loved. I remember Jose was tying up the paperwork with the movers, and I sat on my front stoop, hot as blazes. It was still very hot. It was the middle of July. And the sun had gone down, and everybody had a little colonial-like lamppost in their front yard, and the fireflies came out. And I was like, oh, I so love this here. This is so awesome. But you could drive down the street. It was all of 5 minutes away. It was historic Aquia Harbor Church, founded in 1727. Used to be the parish church of George Washington. They still have the booths where some of these famous men used to be. And you see the laid brickstone that said 1727, and you could go through and see the headstones from the Moncure family that helped to start that whole area. One of the houses in our neighborhood, there's an easement between them and the next house, and we would take these walks, and there were these huge iron gate, big not square foot, whatever it was. And we're like, what is that? What is that? There's a massive headstone back there. Okay. Like up to here in some backyard. And it says 1767, Miss Sarah. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I hope they have a ghost in their house, and it just, like I said, you just can't go anywhere without saying, somebody saying George Washington this here, and Thomas Jefferson was here, and John Adams visited this, and Abigail Adams touched the doorknob. And we used to have a really good friend she was my sister in history. We called each other Sistorian. And we would go and take these tours of like the Mary Washington house, and with signs everywhere that says, do not touch, do not touch. Right. And we would linger and stay in the back of the group. And as soon as somebody was like, I'm touching it. That's
so funny.
Is that an original doorknob? Very cool. So so if you can't tell, if it's not about British tea and tea parties and British, I am incredibly enthusiastic and impassioned about historical things like that around here. I could totally be a docent somewhere and just talk all day.
Yeah, so you are equally interested in American history, whereas I'm just, give me the British history.
But they intertwine.
I know. Well, yeah. I'm gonna take this off because I forgot my white one always slips. It always falls down. But anyway, yes, I know that they intertwine, but that's when stuff goes downhill.
For your interest, I get that. Mine starts to wane right around the middle of Civil War. I'm really interested in stuff, and then after that, it's kind of like, and that's where I become more interested again in the British history, because I love that turn of the century, the Edwardian, the Victorian Edwardian period of history and stuff like that. I do love those things. So my thing. I'd love to go and offer tea service at one of these houses and go, I'll bring tea.
Oh my goodness.
I'll pour the tea.
Yeah. So, just push a tea card up there. Don't even call ahead.
I told you, right, when we first met, that I thought about, instead of doing cup and crown, I was going to be the rolling tea cart, the traveling tea cart. The traveling tea cart.
Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah.
Feel free to take anyone.
But I like cup and crown.
Thank you. It's doing well for me anyway. So I get neighbors. So what is this cup and crown thing you're doing? What is that? And I'm like, click on my webpage. Click on my Facebook page. I'll tell you all about it. So yeah. That's awesome. Anyway, well, What have we got? Wow, we've been talking an hour.
Mhm.
So easy to do.
Yeah, I know it is. I would say I of course could talk to you forever. I do actually have a 4:30 for once. I know, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I gotta go fry bacon, or this salad is not gonna be.
Oh right, you got bacon to fry.
I do. I've got some bacon to fry. I do. So, anyway, well,
Well, wait, did we say what our favorite, did we say the winner for each of us?
hands down Scottish.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Scottish too.
But
So,
it was for this blend and for this brand, I guess. Maybe
Right.
if we did it, Twinings, maybe we'd find something very different. But for this
Right.
brand, I
Mhm.
really like the Scottish tea. I have to say that I have gotten the is it Taylor's of Harrogate? I think it is.
Yeah,
I think
Taylor's
that's
of
what Sean likes.
yeah, he likes that brand.
Shout out for Sean.
I know.
But I bought them in the past too, and that you can get them in the bag. And I like to make iced tea with that in the summer. It makes
Oh,
it's
okay.
a nice strong tea that when you add the ice, it doesn't get so watered down. You still get some of it. You look like
Oh.
Diana. You look like Princess Diana when you put your head down like
Really?
you did when you put your eyes up. You did. You did. You totally did.
Well, I'll have to go back and watch the video.
And you will. I know you will. You're gonna snuggle up tonight phone and you're gonna sit there and watch the whole thing.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, the more that you play it on loop, the more that it counts.
Okay. What if I do it on a different device all around my
There
house?
you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, William, I need to borrow your phone.
Your voice is just echoing throughout the house.
Yes, exactly. Well, listen, we will get together and schedule the next one because
Yes.
it's so close to April at this point. I don't know if you want to try to do late April.
Yeah, We can try and do late April, and I've got to figure out what our theme is going to be.
Yeah,
So-
you let me know. Or if you want to run with the whole same kind of tea but different water.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Because we could do like where we tell, like, buy, just for example, like we each have tried Dasani, or like, we buy the same brand of water at our stores. So we have
Right.
the exact same.
Right.
where we're
Yeah,
tasting.
I don't think you're going to send me Florida water from your tap, but I'll just do
No,
my
I was
water.
thinking, yeah. I was
So
thinking
Dasani,
you would
that
get
one-
store-bought water.
Yeah, maybe it's just 2 teas. I don't know. Because what other kind of water can you get?
Well, I was just thinking like maybe just a couple different brands of like bottled waters.
Well,
So
let me know because there's no reason for you to send that. Don't send that water to the mail, and I'll just go get it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's what I
it's
figured.
easy.
We'll just decide what brand to get. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll both go to our stores. Yeah.
Yes. And then, but the tea, I need to know it. Unless
Oh
you
yes,
tell
the
me,
tea. Yeah.
Is it a PG Tips? Is it a Yorkshire Gold, which I'm out of right now?
Right,
But,
right.
we can do that. So
Today.
we'll
yeah.
talk. And if you don't answer now, I know when Amy doesn't respond to me right away, because sometimes it takes her hours. She's napping. She's napping.
I know. Speak yourself. That is awesome.
As for me, I'm sitting by my phone all the time going, why isn't Amy texting me? I haven't heard from Amy today.
You just like passed out on the
Anyway, you got to get to your 4:30 and I got to go fry bacon. So
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nancy. I'll
you're
let you.
very welcome.
Yeah,
I-
you can wrap it up. Tell everyone.
All right. Hey, and happy April Fools, which is a shout out for my uncle's birthday tomorrow, but also happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. Happy Passover for people like Cheryl, our
Yeah.
Jewish friends. All right, guys, enjoy. Happy spring. See you in a month.
All right,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.